I hope my voice is clear. Um, can you please give me a thumbs up or just drop in a message in the chat so that I can know that you are able to hear me properly? And then we can go ahead. Any one of you, can you please respond to me? Yeah, okay, good. All right, so very warm welcome to you all. And as discussed earlier, today is our session for block based programming. This is a demo session. So, in this, basically, we'll be learning all about what block based programming is basically, and why do you need to learn block based programming, and what are the scopes, and where you can actually use and utilize this, and do you need to be from a certain background to learn this, and what are the applications of these kind of programming. So, to move ahead, the first question I would ask you all is. Your interest in programming. I mean, like, what are your thoughts about programming? When I say the word programming, what comes to your mind? So when you actually think of a program, what comes to your mind? You can just unmute yourself and talk, or if you just want to type in chat, you can just let me know, because I want it to be an interactive session. So please respond so that you can make the most out of it. If I am the one who's just speaking and you're not interacting, it wouldn't be more interactive session. So please come up with your answers and let me know so that I can like improvise more and give you a better understanding of what this session would have more. So can you please tell me, what do you think about programming? When I say the word programming, what comes to your mind, or what do you have any idea about what programming is, or you don't have any idea about any of these things? So nobody is willing to speak up or type anything in the chat. I'll wait for one more minute and then not a problem. So it's a step by step procedure to execute a problem. That's a correct answer in one perspective. Good. Anyone else who try to answer anything that comes to your mind? Okay, not bad. Let's go ahead and first try to understand. So, the term block based programming refers to a type of giving instructions. So, when I say the word programming, in simple terms, I would say the easiest way you can understand and teach a kid who is of age 6 to 12 is you can make them understand in this way that programming is nothing but giving instructions to a computer. So, what you're actually trying to do is you're trying to give instructions. So, when you want to build an application, you want to build a game, you want to create a game story or whatever you call an animation, or particularly a program, what you're actually trying to do is you're trying to solve a problem, you're trying to give commands and instructions. So when we talk about programming, in simple terms, it's very simple. The only thing is what we are trying to do using the word program here in our block based programming is we are trying to give, or in general as well, when you talk about programming in deep sense, the first and foremost thing that you do is you are trying to give an instruction to a computer. And what sort of instruction it is, how will we be giving that, will be covered with block based, with the term block based. So now when you're trying to give instructions to anybody, for example, now I'm trying to teach you block based programming. For me to teach you block based programming, I need to know a language in which we both can interact with each other, isn't it? Now, I am speaking in English and you're able to follow it because you are familiar with the English language. Similarly, if I want to interact with anybody and make them understand what I'm trying to say, I will be able to do that only if me and the person whom I'm trying to explain anything knows the same language in which I'm interacting, right? So if I'm speaking English and you understand English, you will be able to understand whatever I teach because you know the English language. Same way, if you want to know how to build programs, how to do coding, how to give instructions to a computer, you need to know a language with which you can interact with the computer, right? So that particular language using which we can interact to a computer is, in simple terms, is what is coding. You code for the computer to understand what you're trying to say. Once you are able to do this, you will be able to establish a communication between yourself and the computer in the way the computer understands. Now, to do that, we have a block based programming as a mode or as a channel of communication. So, in today's session, I'll be introducing you to the concepts of programming with Scratch, and we are also going to see in the later part of the session on code.org. So, why are we so much focused about programming, and why are we talking so much about programming with Scratch or block based programming? Now, the reason why we are focused so much on programming nowadays is because you see everywhere technology has taken the world in such a place that you cannot imagine your life without internet, you cannot imagine your life without all these gadgets. And we see the kids growing in this age, they are much more faster than we used to be at that age, right? So now the kids are no more interested so much in the games that they used to play, we used to play when we were young, with the toys. Now the kids are more into mobile phones. They are all the time on the YouTube watching videos, getting to know these, that. So these people are being introduced to technology at a very young age. So why not shift their screen time from something which is useless to something which can make them more creative? So this program of Scratch or the block based programming has been built up to make the child more creative and more productive. Now, how are we going to do that? Because this entire Scratch programming is done in such a way that it always makes the child engaging, and it always gives the sense of the child that they are enjoying it, because the animations, the pictures, the entire designing on the screen is going to be so interesting that the kids will get attracted to it so much. Not just getting attracted, but at the same time they are learning it, right? So that is what is the main ideology behind bringing this concept of Scratch. And why I'm talking to you about this is because if you're trying to get a job in India, basically, or any other country as such, if you are willing to work from home online on an educational platform. So I have worked with White Hat Junior, I've worked with Lido Learning, I've worked with Coding Girl, I've worked with Byju's Future School. So I'm talking about all these platforms wherein they teach block based programming as a mode to bring the creativity and nurture your child from an early age, replacing their screen time. So, see, if we live in a society wherein you are not going to be able to save your child from the screen time. Definitely, your child is going to be shown to the screen, like either the TV or mobile phone. They just spend time watching useless videos and all these learning all these useless stuff. So instead of wasting time on these stuff, why not introduce them something which is so creative, so interesting that they themselves are eager to learn each day? So how will you be able to bring this to your kids or as your students when you learn it yourself, right? So don't have a preset mindset that I need to be an engineer to learn block based programming. No, there have been so many teachers with me working. So I have been from engineering background, but it's not needed to be from engineering background to learn block based programming. to learn mobile app development, it's not really required. The reason behind it is in block based programming, we are not actually practically typing the text based code that we actually do while we actually code. So that's the biggest reason why this kind of block based programming has become such a popular thing in the world today and is a boom. It's a skill that you can possess, not just to be like earning more, but as being parents and bringing your kids, replacing their time from screen with a very useless thing to something productive and useful for your kids. If you do that, I am sure being mother and somebody, yeah, you would like it, right? So just a minute, let me just mute this. Okay. So you would yourself enjoy this journey, I'm sure, inshallah. So let us go ahead and see much more in depth and detail about what Scratch programming is, what is block based programming, and how this will be useful to you and your kids. Even if you are not teaching it to your kids at home, you can take this up as a career and work on these platforms. And trust me, I've worked with Amazon, I've worked with Accenture, I've worked on site Google. Trust me, all these jobs were pretty much hectic. Trust me, I'm telling you my own story. I've worked in all these corporates, and I've worked for like 10 to 14 hours, because going to the office, coming back home through the cab provided by these companies, and the long journey, it's a hectic thing. So I would be saying that it's a very amazing opportunity for all us ladies who really feel that they are capable of doing things and they want to do something from home. They can actually really take advantage of this opportunity to learn block based programming and start their career as a coding instructor. Because trust me, as a coding instructor on White Hat Junior, whatever I've earned, that was much more than I was getting at a corporate job in Amazon or Accenture. Trust me when I say this, I am genuinely saying this, not just because I am giving you this lecture and teaching you, but trust me, generally, I'm saying on any of these platforms like Codingle, White Hat Junior, Lido Learning, Byju's Future School. White Hat Junior has been promoted to Byju's Future School. So Byju's Future School, all these are such great platforms which has conquered the entire Indian market and global market as well, wherein we have at White Hat Junior, I was not just teaching to Indian students, but I have also taught to American students, Canadian students, I've taught students from Singapore, Philippines, I've taught students from Australia and UK. So the market is growing, and this is not something which is going to end. People say that something comes and goes, and when I was teaching at White Hat Junior as well, there were a lot of criticism from so many people who used to say that I am whatever I'm doing, I have been an engineer and I'm not utilizing my technical knowledge. People are there who are going to keep saying so many things to you. I just want to say all this to you because I just want to inspire you that people who say that you can't do anything from home, this is not true. If you actually want to do something, you just have to believe in yourself that you can do it. And inshallah, there are so many resources that you can take up to learn things and do great things from the comfort of your home. So all these platforms are really amazing, and we are going to see how we are going to do that. So what is Scratch? So Scratch is basically a software, okay, which helps the children between the age 6 to 12 or 8 to 16 to create animations, interactive stories, games. So you can do all these things on a platform which is called as Scratch. I will be practically taking you to the website. I'll be showing you how the interface looks like, what are you going to do there, how things will be, will you be able to do it or not, how easy it is for you to grasp. I'll be showing you everything. Now, why is Scratch popular? Scratch is very popular because it does not require you any syntax, right? Syntax is a technical term that you might be hearing when you actually do the coding. So when you're actually doing the coding, you are required to be very careful because every comma, semicolon makes a lot of difference in the code. So basically, it follows a syntax. But when you talk about Scratch, you are doing it using blocks of code. So you're not going to actually type anything. So that is what is going to make your program so easily readable, so sophisticated. And Scratch can be used either online or offline. You can download it on your computer and use it as well. So Scratch is basically a very amazing platform. So this was created to bring in animations and games in an interactive manner to the kids by the Kindergarten Long Life Learning Group at MIT. Okay, so why do you need to learn Scratch? The reason I would emphasize that if you become fluent with Scratch, you can actually help kids replace their screen time. They can creatively express themselves. You know how much that kids nowadays are addicted to all these devices. So why not help them use these devices to build their creativity, right? They can improve themselves so much using this. They can be more expressive, right? And they can be very amazing at doing things. Okay, so let's get started. I am going to show you how the Scratch platform looks like. Just a minute. Okay. Mm, just give me a minute. Okay, I'm going to share my screen completely and show you how I am going to do that. Okay, so all right. I hope you're able to see the Scratch platform, right? So let me log out and show you from the beginning of how this actually looks like. So this is a platform. This is the name of the website, scratch.mit.edu. So this is a platform of Scratch. What is Scratch doing? It's the world's largest free coding community for kids. Okay, so you can join in on this particular platform for free. You don't need to pay. You don't need to have a subscription, anything as such. You can just simply join Scratch by entering your email address, creating a username and password, and generating an email. Okay, and just verifying your email and signing in. So now once you sign in, this is how the interface would look like. I'm just signing in and this is how your interface would look like. So you will be shown some featured projects. You will be able to see the featured studios and projects created by the different students and different communities. Okay, so this is all about what's happening and what are the news about new things that they keep bringing. So now, once you log into the Scratch platform, the first thing that you would require to do when you are trying to learn about this platform is you would go to this end which says create. So when I click on create, it takes you to the interface where you can actually start building up your own project. Now, this could be a story, this could be a project, this could be a game, this could be any animation that you'd like to make. Okay, so let us just see how things look like on Scratch. So now this is how my interface looks like. So I have so many different things and so many different things to talk about here. So the first thing I'll start with is all of these colors. So when you see this particular section which says code, all these are nothing but the blocks. Now what are we doing using these blocks? As I said earlier, when we are doing programming, what we are actually doing is we are giving instructions, right? We are giving instructions to a computer to execute our commands. Whatever we want to tell the computer to do, we are telling that. And how are we saying that? We are telling that with the help of a block. This is a block of code. Okay, when I say move 10 steps, what I can do, I can just drag this to this white space. So this white space which you're able to see here in the middle of the page, this is called as the play area, or you can call it as the scripting area or the coding area. Imagine you are writing in a notebook, and to write any new thing, you would need a fresh page, right? In your notebook. Just like that, when you're trying to give instructions to a computer, this is the place where you will use to give the instructions. So, this white space is called as your play area on code.org, or you can call it as coding area or just scripting area. Okay, anything is fine. So this is the place where you will actually put your code blocks, these blocks, to give instructions. So now each section will have different set of code blocks for you to give commands. Now when I say motion, what comes to your mind? Something which can make it move, right? Motion talks about speed, velocity, position, all of these things, directions, right? So many things comes in motion. So all sort of things like moving, giving a direction, changing the position, or rotating the character, all this is possible using these blocks. Now another important thing before we look at the code blocks is to understand what we call a character. So I'll tell you a simple story of, you might be knowing the story of a rabbit and a tortoise, very famous story that we keep listening throughout our childhood. So in the story we see that we have a character as a rabbit, we have a character as a frog, and both of them are having a race. Now, the same thing, if you want to show on this particular platform as a story, what will you require? You will require a rabbit, you will require frog, right? Oh, sorry, not a frog, tortoise, who's taking part with the rabbit, right? So any character on your sprite, any character for the matter, like in your stories, rabbit, dog, any character, I mean not just animals, any human looking like character, any character is called as a sprite. Okay, it's called as sprite, 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 it's called as a sprite. Now the cat that you're looking on my screen, I'll call it as a sprite. Okay, you can see at the bottom that it says sprite 1, so you can name this sprite. Okay, every character, remember sprite is nothing but just a character in your story. It can be a book, pen, pencil, bat, ball, anything that you are trying to build up your story with, any object for that matter, or any character in your story is a sprite. Okay, so now when I say sprite, I can give name to my sprites in Scratch. So here, if you're looking at this cat, I can name this sprite as cat, and once I name it, you will be able to see its picture, and you will be able to see the name at the bottom as well. Now if you don't want the sprite, you can delete it as well. Okay, you can change the x and y position of the sprite. So now this area where you're able to actually see the sprite, this white area is called as a stage, or you can also call it as play area where the actual story or the game appears. Okay, so this particular area is your stage. On the stage you will have different characters performing different things for you in your story. Okay, so you can change the x and y position using this x and y. You can change the size of the sprite, you can make it big or small by changing the size. You can change the direction. Okay, you can see when I put it on direction, you're able to see it is exactly perpendicular, that is 90 degrees. So if you just want to change the direction of it, you can do that as well. See, I'm just changing the angle here, and it's getting tilted or rotated, right? So you can do any such thing with your characters just the way you like. Okay, so you can make them do anything basically. Okay, once you know this, The next important thing for you to know here, I would say, is all about sprites. So when you're trying to choose a sprite, when I click on this button, the one that you see, there are so many different sprites. It's not just animals, there are so many different categories to choose from: animals, people, fantasy, dance, music, sports, food, fashion, letter, so many different things. All you need to do to select a sprite is just click on any particular sprite. For example, if I want a balloon, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to click a balloon, and this balloon is going to appear on my screen. If I want to move any sprite, I can just click on the sprite and move it anywhere on my play area. I don't just need to type in here to move. Okay. So it's very flexible, it's very easy for you to navigate and learn things. So this is about the sprites. If you want to select a sprite, you just click on this cat face and just choose your sprite. You can do many other things. You can just click here as well to search for sprites. You can paint them as well. If you just want to change the colors of the sprite, you just click on paint, and it will take you to the costume section. On this, you have your sprite, right? You can just change the colors, you can do so many different things. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to say is there are a lot many things that you can do on this platform. Customize it according to your wish. You have so many tools, you can do any sort of customization. Okay, so now talking about other things, you can also add some surprise elements to your um, animations or pictures, any surprise element for that matter. Okay, like a classy dance or anything for that instant. And you can also upload a sprite, your own sprite, any picture or any character that you want to upload from your computer, you can do that as well. So this is all about what you can do on this. And next important thing, as I said, the background, right? I told you that anything, when you're trying to build up a story or a game, the background matters a lot, right? If I'm talking about a story of a rabbit and a tortoise taking part in a race in a jungle, my background or the backdrop, you can call it as a background, you can call it as a backdrop as well. Okay, basically the stage. So for the background, what you need to do, uh, just a minute. Okay, so for what was I saying? I'm so sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, so I was saying that for the backdrop or the background, all you need to do is just click on the same way, just like how you did. You can just click on this and select any background that you would like. For example, you want to build up a story wherein you're talking about, yeah, just like I said, if we were talking about a race between two characters like a rabbit and a tortoise, I would just go with this particular backdrop for that instance to show that they're having a race on this track, right? So this particular backdrop will take the entire background of your screen and make it the way you want it to look like. Okay, so this is all about the things that you can do. Just like your sprites, you can also customize your background, you can paint and upload as well. So this is all about the things that you can do on this side of your screen, which was the right hand side. Another important thing is to look for the blocks. Now each section will have different set of blocks which will let you do so many different things. Like if you talk about looks, it will try help you to change backgrounds, it will help you to say hello. All these blocks, every block will have a different purpose. Simple terms for you to understand: each block is a command or an instruction, what you want it to do. And as you can see, when we are talking about blocks, we are not actually coding. It's pretty simple. If you just want to give a command like move 10 steps, you just have to type the number 10. Or just if you want to make him move only 5 steps, you can just make it 5. And if you want to make see how he is moving, you can either click on it. When I click on it, you can see that the cat is moving. right? It's moving by 5 steps. If I want to make it move by 10 steps, all I need to do, I need to just change the number. And you can see this time it's moving much faster with the 10 steps. So either I can make it move by clicking here, or I can actually add an event. Just like imagine you enter a dark room and you want to turn on a light in the room. How do you do it? You have to click on the switch, right? To turn it on. Same way, if we want things to be automated, we want to say that when I click on the green flag, so I have a green flag here, just like a button to start. When I click on the green flag, I want it to move 10 steps. So if I just click on this green flag, it's gonna make it move 10 steps. Okay. So I hope it's pretty simple and easy for you to understand how things work here. So it's very easy to learn block based programming. So this is very easy, something which I'm showing. You can build up complex things, you can go ahead and learn much more things and become familiar and perfect. There are so many different code blocks which help you to do various coding concepts made simpler, like all these coding terms like what happens if then is a conditional block, forever is a loop. So all the concepts of coding like command, sequence, loops, variables, all these will be coming to you. You will be learning about all these core concepts of coding, but in a fun and engaging manner. You will be seeing these blocks here on Scratch. Basically you only see this block, right? But I'm going to show you one more website which is called as code.org, and that particular website lets you to see the code behind it as well, for you to understand that how simple it is for the code blocks. I hope it is pretty clear and simple for you to understand now. So these sections like sensing blocks, operator blocks, mathematical calculations, variables, every set of blocks will have instructions, and you also have a option to make a block. Okay, you can customize it as well. So as things go, as you keep learning things, you can do so many different things. You can also add sounds. Okay, you can add sounds and make it do things. So you also have a sound section, right? So you can add a sound. So along with moving, if I just wanted to play sound as well, see, so this became an interactive thing for the kid, right? So if they do these things, I mean, like, this is pretty simple and the most basic thing that I'm showing to you in this demo session. There's so many beautiful games and there are so many amazing things that you can make. So it's going to be very amazing journey if you take up this course and learn it for yourself. It's not just going to benefit you, but for your kids, you as a teacher, if you want to take up this career as a coding instructor, you can do that, and it's very much possible. You don't need to be from a coding background, you don't need to be from engineering background, because as you can see, all these blocks are pretty much straightforward English blocks, right? Simple terms, what is whatever instruction you're giving, the same thing is written on the block, and that is giving the command. But as a teacher, as an instructor, if you are using these blocks, you should be in a condition to explain to your students what is the purpose of this block, right? And you will only be able to do that when you actually learn. You will be able to explain others the functionality of each and every block only when you are familiarized with how things work. So for that you have to learn. I'm saying this is very easy. You will be able to learn. It's just that you have to spend some time and efforts, and I'm sure inshallah you will definitely be able to do it. Another important platform that I'd like to show you is let me just show you 1 second. um Yeah, another important platform that I'd like to share is code.org, which is pretty much similar to Scratch, which is another most widely used block based programming platform. Okay. I've taken lots and lots of classes for the kids on this as well. code.org, you will feel it's much more easier than Scratch. Some will feel Scratch is much more easier. Pretty much both of them are same. There are so many different things which are all clubbed together in one place in Scratch, but in code.org they have been categorized into different sections. I will be showing it to you now. If you want to take up like a session or join in for this particular platform, all you need to do is sign up, just like you do it for Scratch. You're going to sign up for this as well. So I am going to just sign in because I already have an account, so I'm just going to sign in. But there are so many different options for you to sign up on this, as a teacher, as a student. Once you're a student, it will be much more easier. Once you take up a job as a teacher, you can maybe join as a teacher as well. So this is particularly how my dashboard or my interface would look like once I enter the website. Now if I want to create anything, for instance, I am going to go for with the lab. So as I said you, there are different categorizations on this particular platform. In On Scratch, all of them can be done at one place, but code.org has made it much more simpler for the students and for the children to understand, and for teachers also to explain. It has created so many different labs wherein you will be able to do different sort of things, like just the way I was talking about sprites, I was talking about creating simple stories. If you want to create a fun and engaging simple story, just like the way we have done there, you can do it on code.org here as well. So I'm going to show you how the interface looks like. Just like your Scratch, you have so many different sections here. The first one being the play area, this particular area, which is where you will be able to see your sprites, your story, your game, whatever is going to run. All these things will be pretty much visible to you here on this side of your screen. So this is called as your play area, and on this play area you can add sprites. And here another thing that you can see on code.org is you will be able to see x and y values, like position of where you want to place. Just by scrolling your mouse, you can see where you want to place any sprite. Okay, just like your Scratch, you also have different code blocks. All of them are block based, so you don't have to actually code anything, like type anything. So if you want to make a new sprite, if you want to add a character, all you do is you just go to the sprite section and bring this particular code block to your play play area, right? So this is your play area where you're able to see the sprite, and this is where your scripting area or the coding area or the area where you're going to actually put the code blocks. Okay, now as you have seen here as well, we have lots of sprites to choose. You have so many costumes to choose for your sprites. Just click on costumes and you'll be able to see all and do so many sorts of customizations. If you just click on costumes, you will be able to see the costume library, so many things to learn, so many things to explore, so many interactive and amazing things the kids would love. So just like how we were doing there, if you want something to happen here as well, like if you want to make them move, what I can do is I can add a block called as sprite begins. Just like move block, here we have sprite begins, and you can add a behavior to it, like moving east, moving west, moving south. You can particularly describe the direction where you want it to move. Now I can change the position of, I cannot change the position of the sprite just by clicking the way I was able to do in Scratch. Here you will be clicking on the small pin to move your sprite. Now you will be able to move your sprite. Okay, so things are pretty much similar. very easy for you to understand. Both these platforms are very interesting and amazing. So now, just like the green flag that you had there, here by default you always have a when run block, which says when you click on this run button, what is going to happen is it's going to make a new sprite at this so and so location at x is equal to 52 and y is equal to 248. And what will happen to your sprite? It's going to begin moving east. Let us see. Is it moving east? Yes, it's moving east. It will continue to move east until and unless you stop it. Okay. And as I said, you coding with block based programming is so much easier. You see, all these code blocks are looking so simple, right? But if I click on the show code, this is all the code that is going behind all this. Okay. This much code, this much of Axel coding is behind all these blocks. Isn't it so amazing that this JavaScript code, entire thing is written in JavaScript? So this particular code has become so simple and so easy for you to understand, for the kid to grasp and make things, isn't it? So it's very easy for you to learn block based programming because we are not doing the actual code. This is the actual code for that. But are we actually typing all these things? No. All we are doing is we are just doing drag and drop. You're just dragging a block from here and dropping it to your scripting area or the platform where you're going to actually provide the code blocks. So all I want to say is this is pretty much simple. There are so many different things. This is one of the lab where you actually create stories. On this you also have app lab where you can create applications. Let me show you how an app lab looks like as well. A brief introduction. I won't go into much details, but I'll just give you a brief demo about it as well. Just like how you have an application on your screen, you were able to see the mobile screen here, right? So same way, once you create an application here and run, you will be able to run it on your phone as well. You will be able to see it, and you will also be able to launch your own applications in the Play Store. There's a procedure for that, but once you learn to create applications on code.org, there are different platforms like Thunkable as well to create mobile applications. So all these have been proven to improve the creativity of your child. Your child is going to be much more creative learning all these things. And if you're bringing coding to your child at a younger age, at an earlier age, he is going to be very good in IQ, and you are able to see him become much more responsive and creative. So, this is all I would like to say about all these platforms. And there are so many things that you can learn. So, I would suggest that if you would like to take up this course, please let me know. This is really an amazing thing for you to learn. Okay, so you can continue to your journey as a teacher. You can be an amazing mother for your kids, for if you learn this, and if you're not willing to take up a career as a instructor as well. But I would suggest that instead of just sitting at home and wasting time, if you have that feeling that I should do something good, I would suggest that this is the best option that you can take up. Probably because you can do it from the comfort of your home, and just all you need is a laptop with a good wi-fi connection, with a broadband connection. Basically they actually ask you to have a wired connection, but that's not actually required. If you have a proper wi-fi at your home and a laptop, that's the basic requirement these people look for when you are asked to give a demo or a interview with them and then start working with these platforms. All they look for is a good reliable connection and you as an individual who is capable of doing things. So in the demo session, when you are giving an interview as well, they would ask you to execute some simple programs like I did. but at the same time they might ask you the logic behind the code, right? Why are we using this particular code block? What is it used for? Where do we use it? All such sort of things would be asked to you in the interview session, definitely. So if you would like to learn more, and if you found this something interesting, and if you feel that this is something you can do it and this is pretty much simple, I would definitely recommend you to take up this course that I'm going to start probably in few days. Some people have requested me to start this. So I just wanted to inform others, so I did, and you guys have joined in. So all I want to do is I'm going to give you all an opportunity to be a part of this, and take part and join this particular course. Another important thing you might be wondering and would be willing to ask is about the fee structure and the duration of this course. I would say that, see, I am being frank with you. Block based programming is easy. As I said, it's easy. You can learn it, you can watch tutorials as well, and you can learn so many things. But if you learn from an instructor, things will be different, as you all know. So as I'm an instructor, as I'm giving my time and efforts, you will also be required to put in your time and efforts. So it's not just like you can learn in one day. Definitely, you have to give some time and effort. You have to probably, it totally depends on you, frankly speaking, how fast you grasp things and how much time apart from the lecture of 1 hour that I'll be taking you spend. It's not possible for me to teach everything in 1 hour, but as we take up more and more sessions, we will be doing things. So what I'm gonna say is, it might take a month, it might take 2 months, it might take 3 months, depends on you. If you would like to continue for 2 to 3 months, or if you feel confident that no, I know much and I can continue with this much, that's well and good. But what I have thought about the fee structure is 6,000 per month, and that is what I have decided to take for this particular course. And I will be taking 1 hour session daily for 5 days. It can be any 5 days. I mean, like, some of the people have requested me not to take on Friday, so apart from Friday, remaining 5 days. So I'm just gonna take everybody's suggestion and decide which 5 days. But the 5 days a week, for a month, this is what I have decided. And please let me know how you found this session, and if it was useful to you, please let me know. And if you would like to see the recording for this demo session as well, I'm going to provide that recording so that you can review back and understand things much more better. That is all I want to say. Thank you very much for joining. Please let me know your suggestions for my improvement. If you would like anything to be explained in a much elaborate manner, or if you would want me to go slow, or if you want me to have any sort of improvement, I'm ready for all such sort of suggestions from you all. And please do give feedback about how the session was, whether it was useful, whether you found it worth attending, or whether you found it interesting for your kids to take up. Let me know your views on it. Okay, thank you so much. Have a great day. Allah Hafiz.